And you're on the punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez.
Yes.
And hi, y'all.
Hello.
Shit to talk about today.
Lots of things, but not too much stuff. Just a lot of stuff.
A lot, but not a lot.
Not a lot. Mostly a bunch of bit sessions, right?
We're going to whine.
We're going to whine today. I'm just trying to get... You know what? I'm always so slow getting the show going on my phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ryan, you're on the punchline. Ryan Freeson. Am I on the punchline? You sure are. Dude, I am getting so sick of... I need a good phone holder. Somebody stole mine.
What's up, Leonard? Leonard's on, guys. Good fellas, what's up? Yeah. Did you catch any fights this weekend?
I caught the one, the Beterbiev and the Gvozdyk fight, which I was off on that one.
I can't remember the undercards for some reason. Is that bad?
I didn't care about them. Did you?
No.
If anybody knows,
I watched co-main. I forget who it was until somebody brings up a name. Fucking Lobster 11. Yo, finally able to catch one. Good Lobster. Thanks for being on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, I got a brain fart.
Fuck. I have to use this Diet Dr. Pepper to hold it up.
But then again, you know, a big reason was that the Ohio State Buckeyes played Friday night. Rare.
And we're pushing the game back and forth.
Yeah.
Kelly Morgan's watching. My girl Kelly, how you doing? Seven C's, my old college roommate. Great basketball player, and he's a great DJ now. Great musician, always has been. Eddie Cohen, my cousin, he's watching. Bobby Mills is watching.
The Quag says, "Yo, who you got for Taylor Pro Grace?" I got Taylor by split decision, I think.
I got Regis by knockout.
I think I'm going to have to lean towards Regis Pro Grace too. I'm not going to pick by knockout or anything, but I think he wins that one.
I got Regis, man. I just think Regis. You know, Taylor he didn't look great in that last fight.
I'm hesitant now, man. I picked wrong this weekend.
I did too. I mean, what?
It's very rarely that happens.
It very rare. I think you're about 98% on all your fights. I think I'm a little less than that. I think I'm about 95%.
What makes me even madder was Billy Walao was fucking finally right.
Hey, even the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while, don't it?
Oh, man.
Tom Cordell was right, too. And you know that's bad. You know apocalypse is coming when Tom and Billy are both right at the same fucking time.
I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board.
We're up in the 90s. I mean, if we were in school, we would get A's for our... Yeah.
And the great thing about the show is, they're all there. Right. Every pick that we had.
Every pick. But saying that, I'm going to go with Regis on that fight.
The Quag says Taylor has fought tougher competition, though.
But how did he look against that tougher competition? He didn't look great.
Leonard Holt goes, Kelly, do you keep in touch with your old trainer? I don't remember his name, but Jack? I think he...
Or Robert Garcia.
Paving business. Yeah, Jack's no longer in the paving business, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, I talk with him here and there. It's all good.
Yeah, Dana has Regis. I can see that too, Dana. That's where I have Regis in the 9 rounds. I actually have it a little earlier, like the 6th.
Yeah.
What's up, Damon? Frankie's watching. I like Frankie. Frankie's cool.
Fat Lazy says, who do you guys have, Nonito or Inoue?
I got Inoue.
Can't count Nonito out with the mean left hook.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can count him the fuck out. And I like Nonito. I've always been a big fan.
That's another fight where anything can happen.
Yeah, but man, Inoue's a different level of monster. He's a fucking monster.
Inoue on that
and he has a chin too. He's in Maywood right now. Inoue's in Maywood right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Inoue.
I am. Jude's watching. How about Derek says? How about Beterbiev? He's a problem. He has a problem. He has power, and his technique is really good. But it's different. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of what Beterbiev does, and tell me if I'm wrong, he mentally wears you down because you can't hurt him.
You never know what angle he's coming from.
Well, and you can't hurt him with anything, and then he's hurting you with everything he throws.
Yeah, absolutely. Is your cousin Sarah?
What's her name?
Sarah D.
That's my sister, my half sister.
Your half sister. She goes, I missed a few weeks, but I'm back. Did y'all miss me?
Yep. I miss you.
James said, yeah. Damon goes, Regis is going to blast Taylor. The Quag said, did you guys enjoy the Beterbiev Gvozdyk fight? Absolutely.
I did. I thought it was one of the better fights of the year. I still think Porter and Spence is the best fight of the year, but I would have that fight. I would have
to say Porter. Then I would have to say Triple G.
Yeah. Sergio says, can Beterbiev present problems to Canelo, or is Canelo levels above? Absolutely. Canelo's a middleweight. Beterbiev a big, strong 175. I don't see Canelo beating that fucking guy.
Who don't tire. Even with all that muscle, he's muscle bound and he does not muscle fatigue.
Yeah, I really think that Canelo should stay away from Beterbiev. Really should.
Pretty much all the light heavyweights. If I was Canelo, I would stay away from him.
You know what, though? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to tell you right now, Bivol beats Beterbiev just on the style alone, and he has great chin himself.
I have a hard time.
What about? And I would have. I
don't know, man.
What's your homeboy? Just slipped my brain. Benavidez beating Beterbiev too.
I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I think Benavidez outboxed the shit out of him. Look, here's my thing. I had Gvozdyk up in that fight up until the knockout. I had him up 95-93.
And I had Beterbiev by 1 round.
I had Gvozdyk up by 2 rounds. 95-93 at the knockdown.
I gotta tell you right now.
I had my score too. But Bivol is miles ahead of Gvozdyk when it comes to boxing skill. Gvozdyk is
no, it ain't.
Bivol is miles ahead of Gvozdyk, or when it comes to boxing, and Benavidez is miles ahead of him when it comes to boxing.
But Beterbiev, just how he breaks down, I think he'll do it with pretty much a lot of the guys.
I think Bivol, though, he hits hard too.
Bivol, yeah, but Bivol's a little smaller, and I think he's really kind of there. I mean, listen, I'm not picking Beterbiev yet. That'd be a fight that I would really have to think about before I pick Beterbiev, because Bivol's that good. And the same goes for Benavidez. But I think Benavidez is still a super middleweight. And I'm always going to lean with the guy that's a weight class higher. That's good.
I think Benavidez hits like a light heavyweight, though.
Yeah. The Quags wants to know, is Bivol going down to 160?
He is.
Yeah, and that's what everything's been saying.
He is.
Lobster, the punchline. Hey, what do you guys think about the Gvozdyk Beterbiev fight? Commentary, and particularly Max Kellerman's comments on Gvozdyk quitting. Personally, I thought Kellerman was full of shit.
Gvozdyk didn't quit that fight. He was overpowered, overmatched. I mean,
he was wore down.
He was wore out.
I think it was more fatigue, more so than anything.
I think Max Kellerman, since he's gotten this new network, he's been writing nuts like you won't believe. He's been saying some ignorant shit. Did you see the one the other day? He had that post about. There was a post I put it on the punchline page. But I think he's been saying stupid shit. Oh
yeah, Max, if you're watching, James is the one that called you a moron. No, I don't do that. Just letting everybody know.
I call him a trailer bitch too.
I don't do that. I didn't say that. So
Max.
Just letting you know, because it comes up to punchline.
Yeah. What Louis says, would you encourage Tyson Fury to be one and done with the WWE? Yeah. Tyson Fury is always going to find a way to make money. Might as well cash in.
Why would you not? To be on that with millions of people watching and the amount of money he's going to make just to go in there and probably get slammed on his back once or twice. It's better than getting hit by fucking Wilder.
Derek disagrees with me. That's okay, Derek. A lot of people are going to disagree, but I'm telling you, Bivol is an amazing fighter. And Benavidez is an amazing fighter.
Yeah, I see where people are going, like James now says, I'm sold on Beterbiev. I think he will reign in that division.
What are you sold on?
He won to fight guys against Gvozdyk, which I think he's really tough, but I think it's really early. Everybody's really hopping on the fucking bandwagon. That's a loaded weight class. I mean, it's a weight class where anything can happen, anything at that weight. You know, with them guys.
And Beterbiev is a great fighter, big, strong fighter. But let's be honest and be fair on this. The guy's static. He don't fucking move. He has no footwork. He was like fighting. It was like fighting a robot.
He moved better than expected, though, man.
He moved for what he could do. But what does he do when he fights a guy like Benavidez who can move?
But Gvozdyk is like we were claiming, but we were picking Gvozdyk because of his boxing ability.
Yeah, but what did Gvozdyk do wrong? He got tired. He moved so much he made himself tired.
Oh, a lot of guys will do that.
Yeah, but Gvozdyk came in that ring nervous. Did you see how he was in that first round? How shaky he was and how jerky? I said, this dude's nervous.
I think the biggest problem for Gvozdyk was fighting Beterbiev in the amateurs.
Yeah, and getting knocked out by him.
Man, just knowing that power.
I think so too. I agree. But I really do. I think Bivol is miles ahead of Gvozdyk when it comes to boxing ability and even power. And Benavidez is 168, but we know that guy walks around at 210, 215. He can easily make 75. I just think they're better fighters.
I see something here with Ricardo. You guys think if Canelo beats Kovalev, Andre Ward comes back to face Canelo. I haven't seen, they're throwing word out there a little bit. I don't know if he's going to come back. I doubt it. And no, I don't think. Again, I think we're really getting too excited about Canelo at light heavyweight.
This is a one and done for this dude, man.
Dude, that's a short-lived fucking career at light heavyweight for Canelo, guys. I know you're fans. I'm going to go back and say this. Canelo beat 2 good middleweights in a very, very close fight. Now you're talking about 2 weight classes higher with like really good light heavyweights.
I do have Canelo beating Kovalev, though. I think he's going to stop him.
That's cool.
I think he's going to stop him on a body shot. That's what I think. He's going to stop Kovalev on body shots. I wouldn't be surprised if it went the way you think it's going to go either. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if I had to pick.
Look,
let's ask Justin what he thinks. What do you think, Justin?
Switzerland.
Canelo or Kovalev? Come on, Justin.
I might be with you on this one.
All right.
the Quags goes, I would take B-ball. He was able to take Joe Smith's power. Quags, don't compare Joe Smith's power to Beterbiev's. Please don't do that, man. That's night and day.
You know what scares me about Beterbiev? I don't even say Beterbiev because I know Russian. They don't use the B a lot, like the subcontext. But it's Beterbiev, I think. But what happens is he mentally just drained you by just the mental work of him. Like his defense, you wouldn't look at his defense and say, "Oh, he has great defense," until you pay attention to what he did. When you threw a punch at Beterbiev, did you see it? I know you saw it. He would block the shot with his gloves and hit you with the same glove he blocked the shot with. Mm-hmm. He would counter right off his defense. It was amazing, and that's an old Russian style of doing that. Yeah. But it was amazing to watch. And and a lot of people that are like astute boxing technicians, you watched it, didn't you? He would catch the punch and come over the top with the same hand, and he would catch it off the hook and throw the same hook, mm-hmm. and it was fucking amazing. He didn't have to move his head because he was catching punches and throwing off the same hand.
Jose says, "Hell yeah, my favorite show on earth." Thanks, bro. Those hammers to the body did. James, and that did. I think that Beterbiev will do that with a lot of guys, and that is a big turning point in fights when you go to body. The thing with me with Beterbiev is that I noticed he's one of them guys that everything he touches you with hurts bad, yes. And it does change the fight big time. Yeah. The way a fight's going, I mean, it's a game changer with one punch.
Data says Beterbiev hits hard and the rest like Bivol, but he's a bit light for 175 in my book. James, you're 100% correct. Thank you. No, but I agree. And I think having that kind of power and somebody, I know when you have somebody with that kind of power that walks you down and you can't do anything back, it mentally drains you. I remember even sparring guys like that, and it mentally drains you because you don't know what's coming.
But the biggest issue with Beterbiev, the biggest threat that he poses to people is not only does he hit like a fucking mule, the guy could take a shot. Like you're not. It's not like
Gvozdyk did hurt him a couple times.
He hit with one that really kind of got his attention, but I don't think I would go as far as saying
the body shot hurt him, and then he got hit on the snout.
But Gvozdyk is a big light heavyweight. Yeah. But for the most part, Beterbiev could take a shot too, so that really is scary to fighters when you're getting hit by this guy, and then you're gonna go. Your only hope is like, let me catch him and knock him out.
And you're not gonna.
Well, it's not that easy to do. So. And he don't get tired. He keeps wearing you down. He's a strong guy. Beterbiev is a real threat in the light heavyweight. And you cannot say anybody's going to go in there and beat him up.
No, I agree.
Or going to have an easy fight.
There's a lot of questions on here too, and I've got to get to them all. We'll get to that, Walter. Thoughts, George Underwood. Thoughts on Tank versus Gamboa? Gamboa's just a little too old now.
Yeah.
Tank's going to walk pretty much.
I even think maybe in a prime, Tank would have still beat. Yeah. Gamboa has been.
I think so too.
Spotty. Go ahead.
No, I'm just.
Fat Lady says, I got the crusher by TKO. He's going to catch Canelo in the first rounds, and Canelo won't be the same. He's no Ward or Hopkins. He can't
but his chin is just as good as all them.
At the weight that he's at.
Even so, his chin is great. I mean, no one can. I haven't seen Canelo dropped. You know what I mean? You take a shot. You take some of Triple G's best shots, and you eat those. I don't care who you are. That motherfucker, Triple G can hit. He can punch. He punches 2 weight classes above him. Triple G does. I remember seeing him spar with heavyweights, knocking heavyweights out in sparring. This guy can. It's not going to be that easy. Kovalev is not just going to knock Canelo out like that. If anything, he's going to win by decision. You ain't knocking Canelo out.
I don't see knockout. I mean, I could see him stopping him though. Accumulation, maybe just the pure size. Again, it's not always about just punching power rating.
It's the
comparing Triple G's power to Kovalev.
A lot of times it's the pressure.
Being in there with the real live 190-pound body the night of a fight that's used to fighting light heavyweights. That wears. Where
I'd be nervous too is that big body of Kovalev's on you, leaning on you, breathing on you, pushing on you, and then it wears your body and your legs down. And then you do get hit with something, you take a knee, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can see that definitely. But I don't know. Something tells me that Canelo's body work's going to make the body work that he does is going to make the big difference in that fight with Kovalev. I know Kovalev don't like body work. He never has done well with it. And I think that's going to be the turning point.
Beterbiev has footwork. Watch the Callum Johnson fight. He outboxed him before the KO. He got up off the floor as well. Callum is a big puncher too.
But his footwork, I don't know.
I think it's good enough to be in with anybody.
It is. Again, I wouldn't call it footwork though. He knows the right. He knows the right places to be in the ring. He knows where his foot. He's Olympian.
And he's still getting better. He's a
2-time Olympian. He's not a fucking bum or somebody that doesn't know. But he's one of those guys that's always in the right position to hurt you. Mm-hmm. But footwork, I would call more box. He has a high boxing IQ, and he knows where he wants to be, and he knows where you're going to be.
Damon got a good one.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Max Kellerman saying Gvozdy's legacy is no good?
Who?
Triple G. Okay.
Max Kellerman's mad at him.
My thing is this though. Is Triple G a great middleweight? Yeah.
Yes.
But Triple G in his last 3 fights against the top guys, not the ones that he was fighting coming up, he's had very, very controversial fights that could have went either way. I know I'm going to get shit for this, and it's not nothing to do with me being a former middleweight fighter or champion, but really, let's think about it. He's had 3 really close fights now with top guys.
Yeah.
Well, 2 or 4.
Yeah.
2 with Canelo, Danny Jacobs, and last guy, he just fought.
Yeah.
What's his fucking? Who did he just?
Yeah. The Russian kid, Sharansky or whatever.
Yeah. Chenko.
Chenko.
Devonchenko. Very close fights, and Devonchenko right now is not really wasn't considered an elite middleweight, and that's just being realistic.
An up and coming.
And yes, Triple G's older, but guys, I mean, you have to admit he's been in some controversial fights, 4 of them now. So
Josh Turner says, I've been gone for some time. Is there any one boxer local coming up here in Youngstown? No, they all fucking suck.
Oh, gee. Kovalev said he's going to have a pillow strapped to.
Hey, is my nose growing? Is my fucking nose growing? Am I lying?
It is.
And do they all fucking suck? Oh yeah, we have a couple guys here that are 2 and 9.
We're trying, man.
You know what?
Popo could fight. He's good.
Do you know what trying and $2.50 will get you? A chai latte at Starbucks. I want results, motherfucker. Results.
I thought you were going to say something about a hand job or something.
Yes, Kelly. I want a Dutch rudder.
Rusty trombone.
A Dutch rudder? You remember that one? You have your friend hold your arm while you jerk off. Your friend holds your arm and does it for you.
Steve Z said, Kovalev says he's going to have a pillow strapped to his body when he fights Canelo.
He needs it.
I think Kovalev's size and boxing IQ will give him the win.
When does Kovalev have a boxing IQ?
He
doesn't have a boxing IQ. That's the one thing that in Oxnard they would get on him about.
I know you guys are going to go, you guys go off the second Ward Kovalev fight, but let's not forget, Ward, a big natural super middleweight, light heavyweight.
Now Ward had a boxing IQ.
The first fight with Kovalev, I understand it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
was a fight that could have went either way. That I thought Kovalev won by a round. So
Joey says, does Canelo's punching power travel that far north? He hasn't really hurt anybody at 160 or higher except Rocky fucking Fielding. That's not an accomplishment. We know Joey doesn't like Canelo in the first place. That's it.
But it's a very valid point.
How hard do you have to punch to hurt somebody's body? I've seen motherfuckers that can't punch. The body's soft organs. How hard do you got to punch? And if you don't know the answer to that, you've never put gloves on.
David says, or which Quack says, I think Chanko beats Charlo. After that performance, I can see that too. Because not nothing against towards Charlo, but I just don't think Charlo has proved to me that he could beat a guy like Devin Tranko.
No, Charlo and Andrade would be a better fight, but neither one of them have proven shit to me.
Yeah, Andrade's pretty talented though.
But he hasn't proven anything.
He hasn't.
They haven't fought. They're fighting.
But going back on what you said before, skills are skills.
Skills are skills. They do pay the bills.
Yeah.
But Andrade is the best of the bunch of those fighters that really don't fight.
Damon says, "What's next for Spence now that the smoke cleared?"
New teeth.
Yeah, I don't know.
A new set of teethers.
For Spence, I think it's
Take the
relax.
holidays off. Take the holidays off.
Relax a little bit, and then options are there at middleweight or at welterweight. Like I said, maybe Pac, maybe Crawford, maybe Thurman, maybe Danny Garcia.
Maybe just bring Broner in to beat on him for a little bit.
Maybe Broner. Yeah, I mean.
Joey, he is soft to the body, and you don't need to hit hard to be soft to the body. You need to be accurate, and that's one thing Canelo is. He's fucking accurate. He will hurt you. I don't know. I'm not a big Super Canelo fan, but I got to be honest, dude. His power hasn't traveled north. I'm aware of that, and I think everybody is too. And we don't expect it. This guy was a junior middleweight moving up to 75. His power's not going to travel with him. But guys like that, they pick their shots, and he's going to try to outbox Kovalev. He's not. I don't think he wants to knock him out.
He better do it early.
I would agree.
He fades pretty quickly in the later rounds.
Dana says Danny Garcia, another big fight. That's a great fight for him too, Danny Garcia.
Santiago goes, Kelly, what do you think about Robert Garcia's middleweights? Carlos, Cabela, Adames.
He's awesome.
154 NBF.
He's awesome.
160, Masala, 160, Mexican Olympian.
You remember Adames?
I seen that the highlights of that Rodriguez at 160.
Yeah.
He's
good too.
He looks for real. They were actually showing him on the other guys I don't know much about.
Well, did you see Robert's other fighter, the kid, the Puerto Rican kid, Ndongo? Not Ndongo. What's his name? He was the one that's supposed to fight.
Adobo, something.
He's supposed to fight Popo. Remember? And
I thought it was like Adobo or
yeah, something like that.
Adorno,
Joseph Adorno. He was supposed to fight Popo, and they wisely sidestepped that one because Adorno just destroyed this dude. But we saw that Roberts fighter when we were in Madison Square Garden on the Khan and Crawford undercard. Remember that he destroyed that dude like in the second round.
Yeah, that Iso Akun goes on the Max Kellerman question about Triple G. Max gave the same context you gave, Kelly. He didn't downplay Triple G legacy.
What's up, Caitlin? No,
oh, that's cool.
But the thing is, Max Kellerman was the first one to ride Triple G's nuts for how many years? He's the greatest. He is the greatest. He's this, he's that. And as soon as he changes networks and he's not part of it, he's overrated and he's never been that good.
Well, we all would probably do the same if we were getting paid by the people good money, though.
That's true.
I'm not just defending Max.
No, but
if that's your job and you're told to fucking...
No, I understand that. But I understand that. But look, fans aren't stupid. They see it. They see what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what? Paulie's making money, and he don't do it. Paulie Malignaggi don't jump in and off.
Paulie's going to be with Showtime. He's guaranteed, though.
But Paulie would tell them to fuck off. He ain't do it.
Who's this one? I know it's a hard call, but what are your picks for Prograis? Me and James already said we're going with Prograis in that fight. I like Taylor, but I don't think he's going to get past Prograis.
Joey says, it's not that I don't like Canelo. I hate him. Well, of course you do. That's the reason you say some of the things you say about him. I don't hate any fighter because you know what? I don't know them personally where I could hate them. If you take the time to hate a fighter, you are really personally involved in the sport that really it's like emotional. You know what I mean? No, I'm not that emotional about a sport where I'm going to get mad where I hate a fighter's guts that I've never met.
Dude. So going back on the one thing, and I like that Greg Carey.
Yeah.
I like his page.
Yeah.
Boy, they had a thing on there, and it was just an inspirational thing. Like, it showed Muhammad Ali and Tyson Fury, like a split pick.
Yeah, who would win?
And, like, no, them on the ground getting up, and it says, like, champions get the difference between champions and contenders. Champions get back up, and it showed them getting up. And, boy, that pissed everybody off that they would put Tyson Fury on there with Muhammad Ali. And they were just knocking, and I'm like, Tyson Fury's only lost one fight, or had a draw. He's beat Wilder.
Yeah.
Like, how could you count him out already? He did get up and recovered. Boy, they took that as, they did not like seeing Tyson Fury up there with Ali.
What people don't understand is, these fighters don't decide the generation they fight in. They don't. Tyson Fury fought the best.
I'm just saying there was more behind it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. 100%. But people think that these fighters, they don't fight anybody. Well, it's because it's a generation they're in.
Yeah.
It's always more. It's, what I call that? The Lonnie syndrome.
Yeah, Jose Elizondo goes, if Adames got the title fight, he would wreck Munguia at 154.
Oh, of course. 100%.
I think so, too.
100%. I don't think Munguia is really that good in the first place, but I think, who are they talking about now? Was it Hogan and, they have another one coming. Hogan and big fight coming.
James Burrell asked me, do you ever wish you had hair and wear a wig? Maybe some dreadlocks? James, I'll get some fucking dreadlocks right now.
A fucking mullet, dude. A mullet would be
a mullet?
Epic. Yes!
Remember? I should get one for Halloween.
No, one like, what movie? Old School? Remember the guy that had the gun? Remember he had he was the guy that, they got Vince Vaughn to shoot himself with that tranquilizer gun? And he goes, that's awesome! Remember he had the mullet? Stifler. It was Stifler.
Yeah. We got Will Ferrell. Here's what I'm going as for Halloween.
Sean Scott.
You're going as Bill Cosby?
Yeah, and I'm going to get a pill bottle, and put in pop pills. A face. That's what I'm going as.
Dana says, size matters in the sport of boxing. Absolutely it does. Esteban says, guys, back to the beat-off fight. Have you ever seen a fight where the commissioner enters the ring to correct an error? No, but that is a new rule now, and I like it. When they corrected that, the referees knocked down the commission.
Oh, yeah.
That's a new rule, and I like it because they should do that because there's a lot of bad calls. Not that fight would have made the difference, but it could have in the 12th round,
Damon comes and says, Kelly looks very upset tonight. He needs antibiotics for that yeast infection.
Who said that, Damon?
Damon.
Oh, no.
I love you, Damon.
Darren says, met both Teofimo and Comey at the beat-off fight on Friday. Really cool guys. Looking forward to their fight. I'm looking forward to Comey and Teofimo too. I got Teofimo winning.
Yeah, I do too.
Do you?
Yeah.
You think Teofimo's going to stop him?
I think if Teofimo relaxes and calms down just a little bit, I think he'll definitely win that fight. But if he goes in there and gets a little crazy and over anxious, it's a tough fight to pick due to the fact Teofimo is still coming up.
Yeah,
he's still a young kid, and Comey could hit. He can fight.
Comey just comes to you though. That's made to order for a guy like
Teofimo. To be honest with you, I think if Teofimo could mature just a little bit more going into that fight, I think he does. He can win that fight, but I can see Teofimo getting over anxious, doing something crazy, getting caught. And Comey's not a guy you want to get tapped by.
No.
I think that fight, I'm not making a pick. I'm going to just enjoy that one.
I'm taking Teofimo. Bobby says, which network is going to get all the fights coming up? Bobby always asks questions that are easy to answer. Bobby wants to know which network is all the fights going to show up.
Show off?
Which network is going to get all the fights coming up? ESPN and DAZN and Showtime. Just go with those three.
I don't know. Fox put some good ones out there though,
but not as much as these guys.
No, but
and Fox is always pay-per-view. You're gonna pay a shitload of money to watch Fox.
Well, they got to pay the 19.
Joey saying Max didn't tarnish Golovkin's legacy. Watch the video. No, I didn't say he did, but he was up. Golovkin's Joey Santana again said that Max didn't tarnish. No, his legacy not tarnished, but he said what Max had said, because I did watch the interview. I watched the show on that. He said that he never thought Golovkin was pound for pound 1 or 2 or whatever. But that's not what he said when he was in HBO with him. He was talking about Golovkin being the next great middleweight of all time.
Well, but now let's go back on that. And maybe Max is not doing that because at that time, Triple G was fighting guys, the so-so guys. He really was. And Triple G, since HBO, has struggled and has some very close fights that I thought 2 of them he lost.
That would be even less reason when he's fighting guys like Steve Rolls for me to say he's the next great fucking middleweight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Devin Haney called out Lomachenko again, saying he wants to fight before Lomachenko gets old. How about Haney versus Chenko? You know, I can't blame for these guys for calling Lomachenko out, but we all know how fights are made, and they're not made that easy. Yeah. But if they do fight, I'm going to take Lomachenko over Haney or all of them. Lomachenko is a special fighter. And I don't know, I still think he beats Tank, and he beats Haney too. And he beats the guy with what's the one with the crazy eye?
Oh man, what's his name?
He has the same
Hooker or
no, not Maurice. He has the same eye as he has the same optometrist as the guy from the movie The Jerk. you know that movie? The same optometrist. Cockeyed. Not the cans.
What was his name? It's on the tip of my tongue too. Triple G is 37 years old. His legacy isn't tarnished, losing to a drug cheat Canelo.
Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Who said that?
Henry Ford.
Oh yeah, Canelo was a big drug cheat. He did every drug in the world. He was doing Tren and Stanozol and Winstrol and fucking Masteron and D-Ball. He did it all.
James Burrell says, why are so many people being so critical of Crawford versus Kavaliauskas? I mean, I don't expect Crawford to lose, but the guy is a good fighter.
Kavaliauskas can fight.
And I agree with you, James. Of course, but they're going to. I mean, I don't know who they want. If Crawford fought anybody else, he would take it a lot harder, get a lot harder shit coming down on him.
Kavaliauskas has been ranked number 1 for 2 years.
Tevin
Farmer. Kavaliauskas has been ranked number 1 for 2 years now.
Thanks, Young Yo.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been ranked number 1 for 2 years. What do you want? I mean, right now you fight who's put in front of you. Crawford doesn't have say on who he fights. And anybody who thinks that needs to go sit in a fucking boardroom of these fighters or sit in a meeting room and see how much pull they really have. Your promoter, your matchmaker, and your network tells you they say who they want you to fight. You might get a short list.
The Quag says, I heard they might make Crawford Brook possibly. You guys think that's a dangerous fight for Crawford?
No.
Seems like a lot of risk with no reward.
No, it's not no risk fight. Brook don't have any more eyes to break.
Yeah, it's still a risk. I think it's a risk, but I mean, he could fight. Oh,
I think Crawford puts more damage on Brook than Spence did. They said, Damon says.
Did you notice anything on the screen?
What? Oh, you brought him back. You brought Willie Jenkins back. Willie P. Jenkins. Willie goddamn Jenkins is back.
Yep. Piranha. Juiced up piranha. That's Willie Jenkins, Lobster.
That's Willie P. Jenkins. That's the show. That was the show mascot for the first year. If there's a hot chick, sometimes Willie just shows up, don't he? Mm-hmm. David says, can Crawford do any work at 154? Yeah, I think he could, but he said himself that he doesn't want to do any. He don't want to move to 54, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Crawford said at the press conference, he said he just moved to 47.
James Rawls says it takes 2 men to stare him down. Farmer. Henry Ford says, quit playing stupid, James. That drug was a masking agent. Drug cheat regardless.
Was it a masking agent? Was it a masking agent? For what? What was it a masking agent for? Tell me, because I don't know anything about that stuff. So, what was clenbuterol a masking agent for? If you were going to do a masking agent, why wouldn't you just do something else besides clenbuterol? That's easier to mask. Mm-hmm. I don't know. B12?
I don't know.
B12, a vitamin pack. Clenbuterol is used to open up your airways, to open up your lungs so you can breathe better, and it helps you cut weight.
Cut weight, which is.
I'm not saying it's not a cheat. I'm not saying that. But that whole drug cheat bullshit, it's worn itself out. What's he done since then? He's had 4 or 5 fights where he's done without it. And people are still, that's the only thing they can hold on to. Because, I guess using clenbuterol makes you a good boxer too, right? And a great defense.
What's up, Caitlin?
Oh, Max at HBO. There's a monster in the middleweight division, and his name is Triple G. Exactly. That's what he said, Chris. Thank you.
And he was at the time. He was, absolutely was, and everybody was saying that. And everybody's saying how hard he hit.
Max Kellerman was George of the Jockeys. He swung from Triple G's nuts.
I'm not saying he didn't, but a lot of people were at that time. A lot of people still do.
Triple G is a good fighter.
Yeah,
He's a great fighter.
He is, but again, that was before he had all these controversial fights.
And you fight great fighters like he did, that's going to happen. Dude, he fought Danny Jacobs and Canelo. They're good fighters, man.
They are.
They're close to his level, right? And they're right at his level. Joey says, where does Bud go, assuming he beats, I don't know how he said his name, but yeah, Kamaluska's Meaning Machine. And if Manny doesn't fight Mikey, they can make the fight with Danny Garcia in suspense, be out of commission. I honestly don't know with Mikey. They just had a death in the family, so I don't know what Mikey's really doing in camp right now.
Because they're already asking here, Mikey Garcia versus Prime Juan Manuel Marquez. Ooh, at 135.
You know what? Like I said, I don't know.
Two counterpunchers.
Two counterpunchers. You make a boring fucking fight.
Yeah.
But really, I think Mikey. I don't think we're going to see much of Mikey till after the holidays. I think right now they're grieving a loss, so I don't think we're going to see too much of him.
Jake made a good point. There is not a lot of reward for Crawford in many fights until Spence, and I kind of agree with that. I think Crawford is one of them guys too, where people come down on him for a lot of shit, and I think that he could clear out the division, and he won't get the credit. Yeah. And not only that, then when that happens, it's an insult to the other great fighters like Porter, like Thurman. Guys like that. So it ain't.
Joey says clenbuterol isn't a masking agent. Helps breathing. Exactly. Clenbuterol is not a masking agent. Oh. If I was going to mask, I would probably use Anavar to mask. And you know what? If you're using clenbuterol, you're using testosterone too, because you need that because clenbuterol has prolactin and it makes you grow titties and your balls quit working. So why didn't Canelo test positive for testosterone then? He would test for high levels of test.
Here's what I'm saying on this. And I'm not putting anything in I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm just being dead honest. We got to kind of cut the shit on it though, because he got popped for clenbuterol, which is an illegal substance, and it does lose weight, which is a huge fucking factor. It helps your breathing, and in losing weight. And everybody knows, bodybuilders take it. So, and have screwed around with it. So it is.
It is. It's illegal.
Is it a masking agent? No, it's not. Absolutely not.
If it was a masking agent, he wouldn't have got busted for it.
That's what I mean. So it's
and clenbuterol has a long ester, life. So it's going to stay in your system.
You could have the people, like me. I'm going to say it was one time, and he's been, damn well he's been tested for it. He has not been popped for anything illegal. Yep. So it's kind of over with. Quit using that. If you're going to use it with Canelo, use it with all the other guys.
That's been busted too.
That people put into the Hall of Fame and think is a great fighter, and never once when their names are mentioned do you tag the failed drug test. So if you're going to do it to Canelo, do it with everybody.
Well, I ain't heard nobody say shit about Big Baby Miller, who got busted with 4 of those motherfuckers in his body. Shane Mosley. Roy Jones, who refused to take blood tests for how many fucking years? Come on, man.
So we gotta quit doing that too. If Canelo got popped twice for it, 3 times, even an MMA guy, nobody. What's his name?
TJ Dillashaw.
Well, no, the other one.
John Jones, all the time, 4 times.
So, we got to quit on that too. So, it gets irritating.
Because I think what people think is if they're doing PEDs, that his talent or his skill is not real.
Yeah.
No, he breathes better, but he can still make you miss and fuck you up.
I personally don't think them guys, and I hate to say it because they were all fantastic fighters, but to put them in the Hall of Fame, that's like saying that Pete Rose will never get in for gambling, which was kind of stupid.
He didn't gamble on his own team.
He didn't gamble on his own team, and the guy is still, how many years later, one of the best baseball players of all time, but you'll put Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and
Sammy Sosa,
who literally you couldn't tell that they were... Almost had fucking...
Barry Bonds went from fucking...
160 to 260.
Yeah, and they were silver sneakers. They were close to getting the silver sneakers, and they were putting out 72 home runs. So...
Dude, fitting fucking 510-foot dingers, right?
Bonds used to look like Wesley Snipes in Major League, and then 5 months later...
I know, that's what... like
he looked like a fucking
Mark McGuire looked like a fucking bobblehead.
dude.
He was this big, just that big around, and he had a big head. And then he turns 42 years old, and he's shredded with quads this big. And
Dude, him
biceps.
and Jose Canseco look like silverback gorillas coming out of that fucking tunnel.
Sammy Sosa was a walking ball of muscle. You know what I mean? And these guys are hitting 72, 69, 71 home runs.
Come on, those guys weren't juiced.
So what I'm saying, like, don't put them in the Hall of Fame before Pete Rose.
Wait a minute. And wait, you're going to do Pete Rose. How many years did Michael Jordan bet on basketball?
I don't know. But
he
now,
was a degenerate.
to be fair on that, I don't know what the NBA standards were.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I know,
right?
but MLB has their house rules, and NBA has their house rules, and it may not be as strict as the baseball was.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he looks better now than when he was on it. I agree. Davis said clenbuterol is a stimulant. It was developed for cattle in the 70s. It's not terrible.
It's an enhancement, though.
The cows don't think it's terrible, do they?
No.
They're like, moo, more.
How long is okay? Here was a couple. James, he was better in the second fight with no PD. Absolutely, I do, and that's true too, Jose.
But you know what?
But everybody will say he was on something.
But part of that, you know why I think he was better in that fight? I think he was more confident. I think he realized he could take Triple G's power. I think going into the first fight, I don't think he realized how strong Triple G was. And when Triple G hit Canelo's like, holy shit, that dude hits like a machine, and he didn't want to fight. The second fight, though, I think Canelo was a little more confident, knowing he could take those punches and he could fight back, and I think he had a better game plan going in.
Quags, I do at Michael Donahue. Garcia has been looking good, and he matches up well with Spence.
Which Garcia, Danny?
That's what I'm trying to find.
Probably Danny, but we haven't seen too much of
Danny has any shot against Spence?
No.
I agree.
The only way you're gonna have a shot against Spence if you're a Ferrari. Ferrari's the only thing that's dropped Spence right now and couldn't keep him down, right? It dropped him at 135 and he got back up. So
just lost some teeth.
Fuck you, Ferrari. You couldn't even drop Spence.
All right, here's one. Deontay Wilder versus Prime Lennox Lewis. Who wins?
Who?
Deontay Wilder versus Prime
Lennox Lewis. Skull fuck him.
Yeah, but here's the...
If he hit him.
Here's the kicker. Deontay fucking touches him. Anything can happen. I think Deontay stands a chance against
anybody.
Any heavyweight of any era with the power he has.
But saying that though, I don't think he would have against George Foreman. He wouldn't have stopped. George Foreman, you didn't. That dude had a great chin. Nobody.
Well, I mean, Ali had a unbelievable
chin too.
But
like what I'm saying is though, Lennox Lewis never lost a rematch. He may have took it, but Lennox Lewis was a far better boxer.
I just don't really know if any of them guys still would have took. I know Shavers hit so hard, but there's some magic dust on that right hand of fucking Wilder.
But do you think Wilder could have took what Lennox Lewis put out? Because Wilder's been hurt by Ortiz, and Lennox Lewis is a better puncher than Ortiz.
That's a great point. I think Lewis beats Wilder.
Great technique.
I think Lewis is a better boxer and was a better heavyweight. But I'm just saying, it'd be one of them fights that's hard, man. You'd be on the edge of your seat because every time Wilder threw, I'd go.
Damon said, "Would anybody be shocked Wilder pissed off?" I would, because Wilder is probably the cleanest athlete in boxing. Wilder is one of the cleanest athletes in boxing. He's one of the guys that's pro Vada and pro USADA. When they do a fight, they come to his house multiple times and he volunteers for it. So I would be shocked. I don't. Well,
you can look at him.
You can
tell
see
he's not on.
Yeah, he's 214 pounds, 6'6", 6'7", right?
Yeah.
And he's not on shit. That dude's a fucking monster, man. Damon says, is Herb Williams still fight of the year candidate, or is it Trump? I still think it's in there. I still think that fight's in there. I just think that we've had some good ones lately.
Marcus is on Ohio Runs Boxing. He goes, Plant with eyes. We know where he's going with that. Oh, God. He says, what's good, guys?
Oh, his Plant versus would be Bivol and Benavides?
We let you go on that, Marcus.
Yeah, we did, because he was totally fucking.
He says you're looking great. Keep grinding.
He was fucked up on that call, though. Plant would outbox Beterbiev and all them guys.
Quack says Foreman would have killed Wilder in the prime.
Foreman, dude.
Probably.
He could hurt him. Yeah,
probably. I mean, he probably would have. Just saying that there's always a chance for Wilder with that right.
Wilder has an equalizer for right hand. Steven says, I believe if they are caught using PDs, then it should be a bad mark on them. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You got to remember, too, Foreman was, at that time when Foreman fought, there were not many 6'7" guys.
Nobody.
Not at all. Coming down, he was usually the one where guys were punching up at him.
Facts.
And you got a guy at 6'7", zinging those right hands 2 inches down. Or maybe 3. I think Foreman was, they said 6'5". He was 6'4". Big difference, man.
Yeah. I agree. Dude, I had some of the best memes today, ever. I had some of the best memes today. I was gonna send you some, but you've been kind of a dick lately.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Why? What did I do?
I don't know. I'm just talking shit. You've been alright.
Damn.
No.
I'm getting it, fucking Damon
Do I
cracking on me.
do I smell good? Smell my shirt.
No, you do. What is that?
It's that spray stuff.
I've been in the gym all day.
Yeah, you've been working out.
I did butt stuff today.
Did you? Esteban say Plant could move up and outbox Beterbiev. That is not going to happen.
Who could?
Caleb Plant's going to beat Beterbiev.
Who
No.
said?
Well,
Marcus
said that,
yeah.
but now Esteban's laughing at that. He's like, that's not going to happen. No, it won't. I like Caleb Plant, and I'm not going to say anything bad about him. Caleb Plant's a good fighter, but Caleb Plant is not beating those guys at 175.
Goodfellas said Manny versus Mikey, March 2020, I'm hearing.
Yeah, but like I said, that's not confirmed. Right now, Mikey, they've had a big loss in the family, and Mikey's really not training right now, so we'll see. We'll see. And nothing's been signed yet. Last I talked to them, they were like 95%, but that was before the incident or the family thing, so I don't know. I would probably wait on a May or June if I was going to do anything right now, but who knows?
Yeah.
Steve Kennedy say Ray Mercer. Oh, dude, Ray Mercer.
He could fight.
Ray Mercer might hurt Wilder because I never seen Ray Mercer hurt either.
Hey, listen, I agree. I mean, there are a lot of greats that. When I say I have Wilder, I'm not saying Wilder would beat any of them guys. I just said with the power that Wilder has, he could have competed in any era. Being 6'7", there wasn't many guys even at Mercer's time that was 6'7", 6'6".
Yeah, 90s.
There
was few.
There was a couple here and there. Yeah. So I'm just saying, I think a lot of them great heavyweights would have boxed the ears off of Wilder. But the big thing is that Wilder had that knockout chance against him. That's all I'm saying.
Sergio says Lennox been KO'd twice by straight rights, but he knocked those guys back out who knocked him out. He avenged both those defeats.
Everybody takes the shit that I say and like twisted them. I just said Wilder would have got these guys all stand a chance of boxing the shit out of Wilder. It's just that Wilder stands a good chance of knocking him out too, though.
Joey said, James, you have the best and most memes on my timeline. That's awesome, Joey. Damon asked who would win, Andy Ruiz or Ray Mercer. I would take Ray Mercer over Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
Ray Mercer was a tough.
Well, I mean, we got to see a little bit more from Ruiz.
Yes. Did you know I have a win over Ray Mercer?
You do it?
I broke his Army boxing record.
Oh, shit.
I actually got the trophy from him.
Awesome.
In Germany, he won 3 Army titles. I won 4, and I have the most till this day. I don't know, it might have been broken, but I had the most Army titles on the Army team.
More than Webb?
Yes, I had 4.
Wow. Man. Goodfellas says, Quagg says, Morrison would beat his ass too. No, I don't think so on that one.
Who?
Tommy Morrison. Tommy Morrison was tough. But
Tommy Morrison.
He wouldn't beat Wilder.
No. Darren says, can there be a way of cleaning up the sport, getting a central commission government? That's a good question for you, Kelly.
What's that?
Darren Shabbat, our buddy, he said, can there be a way of cleaning up the sport, getting a central commission of government stepping in?
There's too much money to lose on that.
The problem is, anytime you get the federal government stepping anything, you're opening yourself for more fucking bullshit.
Exactly. It would be a headache.
Maybe if the state commissions would get on board and stop acting like fucksticks, and they would actually take time to care about these fighters' well-being and health.
Well, that was another one, that little argument this week.
Which one? Oh, we can go into that right now.
Well, with the Rudy thing, but the big thing on that was it's the weight. Everybody's making a big weight issue.
Well, let's talk about the first. Let's go back on why they're bringing up the death of this young fighter of Day.
Yeah.
Patrick Day, great young kid in the sport. I think we met him in New York. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember, but we had met him in New York.
That's why when I see him, I look familiar.
Yeah, you remember he came up to you. He came up to you and introduced himself when you were back there with the NYPD guys.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Yeah."
No, guys, I wasn't arrested either.
No. The NYPD guys.
Clarify.
No, the NYPD guys wanted to meet Kelly in the back, and then Patrick Day said he was a fighter, and that Kelly wished him the best. I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
It was the YCOM PD talking to Kelly.
Yeah.
Probably
Right.
But anyway, the NYPD locked him up.
Dickheads.
They tuned him up like Mr. Goodwrench.
I had to go to the YPD that Christmas time.
Did you?
Yeah, remember when I got the ticket?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so going into that real quick. Well, it was the reason why the weight was brought up was because of the death.
Caleb, yeah.
And they were talking that it's
Patrick.
that there should not be that it should be same day weigh-ins as it used to be. And they should do away with the 24-hour rehydration, which
It's 30.
is like wiping your ass.
Is it 30?
Well, 30 hours.
Yeah.
It's between 28,
I
30,
got you.
30.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's kind of like wiping your ass before you shit. And a couple guys were like, "With scientific proof." And where I'm going with this is like, there's not scientific proof. You're worried about the fluid around the brain to protect it and being dehydrated. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Guys are still, because they're saying that it's easier to monitor. If you do it the day of, it's easier to monitor. It's not. Guys are still going to do whatever it takes, that little edge to be bigger, stronger than the other guy. Secondly, mega fights will not happen. And the fans are bitching now, but the big fights won't happen. The 24 or 30-hour period is plenty enough, not plenty enough. It's really hard to rehydrate fully and recoup, but it's still a lot safer than same-day weigh-in. So with that being said, I don't think right now. I think from starting, let's just go back as far as I could go as remembering a tragedy in boxing. Ray Mancini, Dooku Kim.
Yes.
That fight, that death was nothing to do with dehydration. That was due with the fact that Dooku Kim should never have fought in that fight. He was already pretty much brain dead going into that fight. Hence the reason a lot of people took their own lives after the fight, because they knew letting that fight take place when it shouldn't have. And you go on to even the one that Rudy Hernandez told us when we were eating with him out in Los Angeles.
Gennaro, yeah.
With Gennaro. Go to the incident
Floyd.
with that you called on with Joshua.
Yeah.
Being hurt. I think the big problem is that these camps, they got to leave the ego at the door. Everybody's so afraid about a fighter canceling a fight getting postponed. The manager, the father, or whoever else is in charge of the camp, the trainer, they don't want the fight being in jeopardy. No. So what they do is they hide what happens in training camp. I think that everybody needs to pay closer attention. I understand that neurological tests are costly. Maybe talk to the commission. And the commission won't cancel the fight, but if your fighter gets dropped or hurt in sparring, tell the commission, and they'll get him a neurological test, and see if he's okay. Yeah. If he's good, the fight stays on. They don't cancel the fight, and then have one before when a promoter pays for it with the pre-fight physicals, and have them do another CAT scan or MRI, and get that done again. That's what you got to do, and have the trainers in the camp report when these injuries happen. And I bet you'll see a slowdown in these deaths and bad head injuries.
You bring up that, and then you remember the Gabriel Ruelas Jimmy Garcia fight 95 on the Oscar de la Hoya Ruelas undercard when he killed Jimmy Garcia. You didn't hear an uproar about that. But let's be honest, Jimmy Garcia, when he came in that ring that night, he had a bleed on his brain from his last fight that he fought 4 weeks earlier with Gennaro Hernandez.
Yeah.
Gennaro busted him up, and he had a bleed on his brain. And their own commission, the Las Vegas commission, dropped the ball and let him fight with a subdural hematoma against a fucking puncher like Gabriel Ruelas.
Yeah.
And he was a dead man the minute he got in that ring.
Yep. And I think that's one of the biggest things. Like you have to preserve the fighter's health before, during, and after every fight. Absolutely.
But then, Kelly,
Young Yoda said, he goes, these boxers who have died or fought in lighter weight divisions.
It doesn't matter. They don't knock each other out as quick.
They take a lot more shots to the head. They throw more punches. And it's a lot more trauma to the head.
You're throwing 800 punches because you don't hit as hard.
Yeah. And if a fighter had a slight damage in training or a little bleed on the brain that might not have been detected, guess what? After 100 punches hit you on the gloves, on the head, it takes its toll.
Well, let's be fair. Let's not forget about camp. You have guys sparring 150 to 300 fucking rounds,
yes.
And it's wearing on you in camp.
It does, and you know what? I was thinking about that. Like, how do you cut down the sparring.
You can't because there's those trainers with egos.
Yeah, well, that and listen, sparring is the most important thing in a camp.
It is.
But I think that you could tame it down a little bit to like 2 rounds. But you could also, like, when you see a guy, your fighter get hit, just say one camp, he's just into it, or you bring another kid in fresh after 4 rounds of your guy going, and you see him take some shots. Examine, pay close attention, see how his behavior is. Maybe take him to go get checked. There's things like that you could do.
But that also means we're counting on these guys to do the right thing. When they all care about the money. They don't give a fuck about that fighter.
That's true.
And how many promoters are going to say he's fine? He's fine.
Yep. And a fighter goes about his business. He don't give a shit.
Nope.
A fighter, I had a shitty day.
Yep.
I think quit worrying about the weights and start focusing on what happens in these camps with these fighters. And I bet you'll see a decline in injuries.
Did you see the comment I had? That guy said, "Well, when I was an amateur, I never had those problems. I cut weight 5 hours." I said, "Look, man. If you were an amateur and you cut weight 2 hours prior to your fight every time, you didn't fight a lot of amateur fights because I was cutting weight 2-3 weeks out for a fight." And then I said, and that maybe there is something to that because of all the training I did. I would go to fucking school dizzy. I'd be dizzy in class. Did you get like that? You stand up and you stand up and get dizzy. Your head just and then you got dried blood coming out of your fucking
I'd
nose.
be in class picking blood boogers.
I just said that. Yeah. You have dried blood, and then your teacher has to give you a card to see if your parents are beating you. They have to ask you everything to tell them.
And hear the football players on Friday with their jerseys on talking about like a little bruise on their elbow and knees. I'm sitting there picking fucking dry boogers out of my broken nose, and dizzy. Well, I had to tell the teacher, "Hey, Miss Campana, stop ringing that bell."
You did. I was sitting there picking, and then you can't eat lunch because you have that big cut in your lip. You know what I mean? Your lunch, you're like, fuck. And you have the blood boogers and you're dizzy. And they're trying to tell me, "Oh, you were dehydrated." No, motherfucker, was dehydrated. I ate plenty after.
Well, you know what? Let's go to another thing with the same day weigh-ins.
How many concussions do you think we've had in the amateurs that we went to school and a lot? And we just didn't know they were concussions. Yeah. We just thought we were dizzy.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm afraid to even guess. But let's just do this. Yeah. Okay, because the Quag's brought up one. He says wrestling, judo, and jiu-jitsu are same-day weigh-in. Yes. So is amateur boxing, Quags, too. So throw that one in there.
But they're not as physical.
And somebody brought up that, fighters today are too weak. When they're too sissified, pretty much. They said, and you can't go back to that. Well, I beg to differ because before they turned pro, most of these good fighters fought in national tournaments where they had to weigh in 5 days in a row.
Yes.
So they had to make weight 5 days in a row and go fight.
And you're starving 5 days in a fucking row.
But they're doing 4 2-minute rounds. Yes. Or 3 3-minute rounds.
4 2s, 3 3s, yeah.
So again, a lot less trauma, and you do have a little softer gloves and everything else, headgear. So that makes a big difference too. But like a kid, Marvin Bishop, that's on the powerlifting team. Yeah. He says the same thing now. He obviously understands that it's totally different than combat
sports.
Sports, but like he said, they're trying to get them to do 24 hours before the weigh-ins, the day before. Yeah. So that the guys could rehydrate, get food in them, because a lot of the lifters are getting hurt.
Yes.
Because they're drained out, they're depleted.
Yes, of course.
And just because after the weigh-in you could drink water and go eat a sandwich does not mean that your body's you're back to being yourself again or rehydrated.
I've read if you take 30 hours between your weigh-in, you're only about 70%. You're still not where you're going to be, where you're supposed to be. Rocco says, "I saw nothing more traumatic in that fight than any other fight. Same thing happened to Mancini. That was nobody's fault." I agree, Rocco, but the thing is, we don't know what his camp was prior to that with how many times this guy's been hit in sparring or anything else. So all it takes is one or two good punches to open that.
I beg to differ. That was nobody's fault.
It was.
Ray Mancini, Dooku Kim. That falls on the
commission.
It absolutely,
the referee,
100%.
The referee,
all of them. Yeah, that does fall on somebody.
Thank you, Joey. Joey says, "Great show. Thank you so much."
Thank you.
No, but I don't know if there really is a fail-safe way. You know what? Here's what I think, Kelly. I think in our lifetime, I would not be surprised if we see a ban in boxing. In our lifetime.
You just had 4 deaths, and I think 2 out of 4 were on national TV.
In 2 months.
And you had 2 guys in a coma.
Yep.
Stevenson and Judah.
Yep.
But James Brawl goes, gloves and wraps don't protect the brain; they protect the hand.
That's right.
4-ounce gloves. Yeah, but the 4-ounce gloves does to a point because there's less knockouts with the heavier gloves, and knockouts is the part of the brain shutting down, which in fact is damaging the brain a little bit more than.
Well, it rocks your brain forward and back. Yes, it damages it, bruises it.
So, but yeah, getting hit in the head. That's why I mentioned earlier, James. Just because you got your hands up and you're blocking punches, that's still trauma. You're still catching that and it's hitting against your head.
Your own gloves hitting you in the head.
Yeah, it's still trauma.
Do you remember when you used to do you remember when they would hold their gloves up and you'd hit their glove to make them hit themselves?
Yeah.
That was a nice technique to do that. You could bust somebody's snout with their own glove.
What are the rules in NFL for concussions? Are they not examined after the game?
They do.
Yeah,
they have a concussion protocol now, right?
Yeah, but see, Amy, what you're not understanding is you have in football, you could call timeout and that player could go sit on the sideline for a quarter and get examined by a doctor, like a thorough exam. As we're in boxing, you can't call timeout. You can't go sit on the sideline. You go back to the corner, and within that 1 minute, you got a doctor just glaring in your eye real quick with 3 other people in the corner.
Make sure you don't have nystagmus of the eyes. That's all they're checking.
That's all. So it's a big difference, and that's why it's a little different.
Bobby says, Kelly, have you ever fought and thought your opponent's gloves were tampered with?
No. No, they just hit hard. They hit harder.
Could you imagine if they tampered Miranda's gloves with something else?
Oh, nah, I just thought
Dude, you'd have been like that dude that got out of the ring and just walked off. Remember that one? Yeah. They put plaster of Paris on Miranda's hands.
Hit me with a jab. You just see me. I rip my gloves off.
I'm playing golf, you motherfuckers.
Oh man.
What about mandatory CAT scans, Kenny? That's a great idea. But here's where it lies with this. Usually with these big pro fight or any pro fight, they have an insurance clause that you can get treatment for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And they won't cover shit like that. They cover like they cover hands and teeth and cuts. They don't usually cover like the big stuff, because you know how many fighters you'd have going in for major surgeries after that.
And it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
it is. But that's where I'm going back on. A fighter can't do it in camp. That's why I say, like, report it to the commission.
Yeah,
I'm sure most of the commissions, if you go take the test, the neurological test, and it comes back good, the commission is going to keep the fight on.
Yes.
But if it comes back that you got a problem, then you could get the medical attention that you need. And now you just prevented somebody from dying in the ring, going into a coma, or having permanent brain injury.
Here's what I think, and Bronco's right. There should be a mandatory MRIs 24 hours. That's great, and I understand that, but there's no damage prior. But let's do it in the middle of camp. Let's have one before camp, the middle, and at the end to see.
I would say do one in the middle and then do one the week before.
I would want to do one prior to see who they fought last and if there was any damage at all from there.
You could do that.
And then, but
you're going to know it during the middle of sparring.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But in the middle camp, I want to see if there's damage now from the sparring, and then at the end to see if there's any changes. And then look, there's no fight. And then you got to make sure that your promoter is on board to do the right thing.
Well, what I'm saying is this, and it's kind of like what you're going on. If you do it in the middle of camp, just say a month and a half in, that's usually right around the heat of the sparring. The most heated sparring is a month and a half in.
Yeah.
And then you do it 4 days out from the fight.
Yeah.
Because there's no more sparring at that point. There shouldn't be. And then you do it again, and if there's nothing shows up in that, then the guy's good to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, in a legit test too, not a quick little run through, but like have everything that they need to do done.
Yes. Robert Gamache says, when a fighter is hurt in training and doesn't say anything because he don't want to miss a payday or an opportunity, the only foolproof way is a CAT scan, and there's damage from. And I agree. Esteban says, guys, in your opinions, what's the next technological advancement that will change the sport of boxing? You know what I think it's going to be, Kelly? I think here soon we won't see horsehair gloves anymore. I think you're going to see Reyes, and you're going to see the Everlast Mexican gloves get banned. I think that's where we're going to be going within the next year or so. Because they're going to need to blame something. They need a fall guy.
Yeah.
So they're going to take these horsehair gloves and say, you can't do those no more. They have to be 10 ounces everybody now. No more 8-ounce gloves.
Because everybody's going to want to beat around the bush on the medical exams.
They're going to want
because it's too much money.
Right? You know what they're going to do? They're going to put a Band-Aid over a broken arm.
The Quag says boxing has a 90-day mandatory sit, though right.
60. It depends on your commission.
Yeah, they throw the NFL players right back in at times. I get it. The football season is short and boxing never stops, but it's dangerous.
I agree.
But again, Quags, what we're going on, but guys ain't dying in football. You didn't have 4 guys die on the field So you're talking about long term, which boxers also get. And I'm not measuring which sport is more dangerous.
But football players aren't getting hit 700 fucking times in a fight either.
And they go to the sidelines during the game, and most of the time if they have a head injury, they're done. And they're probably done for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. In boxing, the guy goes back, they got 1 minute to check it, and then they let him go on and fight and get punched in the head for another 20 minutes. That's the big difference.
Yeah, what's going on to happen to the sport when somebody dies and other tests positive for PEDs, then he should be arrested for assault. I think he really should be arrested for assault with a deadly weapon. If you kill somebody on PEDs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I think it's a federal offense. I think it's an assault, and people should know that.
My cousin says, I hated cutting weight, so I always made my son fight up. I don't want him having to throw up or kill himself. And you know what, Eddie, I understand that. But sometimes making your son move up is hurting him more than having him cut because he's fighting at weights that he should not be at.
Here's a good one on that. I think at the age of 16 and under, if you want your kid to cut for one tournament, that's fine.
But not all of them.
But when you start holding your son back, now you're also messing with the natural progression of his body and how his body's going to grow. And it's a proven point. If you keep drying your son out and depleting him of the nutrients and everything he needs during the most important stage of his life when he's growing, it does mess up the body. It messes up
catches up.
Yeah, and it messes up their athleticism. It messes up the coordination, everything in the way their body moves.
How old were you when you started cutting? I started about 11.
I was cutting
10
early.
11.
I'll tell you what the best thing was for me. I was being kind of forced to fight. I fought Tiger Island at 125, and I destroyed myself at 15 years old. Yeah, in a Columbus, in Ohio State Fair, and
you were fighting a monster too.
Yeah, and I let myself after that. We quit trying to cut weight and just let me go naturally. Yeah, and I went up to 139 for one tournament, did great, and then went to 147 and won 3 national titles. At 147.
See, and
within a year and a half.
But the way the Mexican style of boxing is, you start cutting weight and you stay small. They want you to stay small. Even though my body might have been telling me at the time, my body might have been saying 112. Let's just say 112. My body's saying 112 at 13 years old, right? But what I really was a 125 kid. Yeah. Or 119. And so they want to keep you there, and all it's doing is hurting your metabolism, and then you wonder why your head hurts and you're shooting blood boogers.
It hurts a lot. I mean, I know wrestling's big in like junior high and middle school and high school, but even in high school, man, even up till you're a senior, when you keep pulling the kid back and you're draining him to make weight for a weight class, it messes with how his full potential his brain, but the way the body develops and all the natural gifts that he could have could be wiped out by doing that. It stops the natural progression of the body.
Bobby says, how about Harry Arroyo's brain damage? I don't know. I can't speak on that. I don't know. What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, and Jake, you could have repeated concussions in one boxing match.
Oh, yeah. And all they do is they compound and they get worse and worse. Like I said, I don't know how many concussions I may have had in my life and not known they were concussions because in the amateurs, they never talked about concussions, did they? Really, and headgear was more fucking dangerous than without it.
It was a sparring session. It was, you went in, got beat up a little bit or beat somebody up. Amy goes, what are concussive symptoms that are immediately recognized?
Headache. Vision.
Yep.
Your pupil.
Dilated pupil.
Dilated nystagmus of the eyes.
Yeah.
It's real bad. You get dilated ones, but the super bad one is when one is small.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because anytime that everybody knows, when you look into a light, your pupils get smaller.
But I've had vision problems right away. I've been shaky. I've thrown up. I've thrown up after fights, so I knew I had. And people say, "Oh, headgear." That headgear is worse than not having fucking headgear.
You're a walking time bomb.
Well, hit the head and you're
James, what's that called in football and boxing? What's the brain damage?
CTE.
CTE. He's got CTE and PTSD.
And TBI. I go to Boston January 5th for 3 weeks. They're gonna kill me.
Oh, well, you'll be all right, man. Don't say that.
They're gonna kill me.
You're just going for a regular little. Yeah. It sucks. It's a long trip.
It is a long trip.
You're driving or flying?
I'm flying. They're flying me. I think each sanctioning body should require. At least I'll have a Christmas at home.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up.
Okay.
We're 10 minutes.
Kenny says, I think each sanctioning body should require the CAT scan within 48 hours after a match. The results should be reported to the commission. If they don't pass, scan license should be suspended until doctor gives.
Agreed.
Okay,
but you say within 48 hours after the fight, but that's usually a guy's downtime and where his brain can heal itself.
Yeah.
I'm going on the middle of camp, and then 3 days out from the fight.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important time because these guys could be going into the fight with bleeds on the brain that nobody knows, and they're taking the punches like that. These guys ain't dying 48 hours after the fight.
Yeah.
They're dropping in the corners and right in the ring. That's where the issue is coming.
That's why I would want to, in the middle of camp, you could take that like, hey, this guy should not be fighting. He's fucking bleeding on his brain.
Yeah. Amy Green goes throwing up with a question. Yeah, Amy, that throwing up is a huge, after a football game or a boxing match, if a guy's throwing up, the first sign is concussion.
You can't let him sleep.
You can't sleep. And fuck, we knew that back in the 80s.
But my parents were uneducated. They say, go take a nap. Your head hurts. All right. And then the next day, go
Thanks,
take a
James.
nap.
We appreciate it. What's that?
And my parents were uneducated about it. My head hurts. Well, go take a nap.
Yeah, pop a towel. I'll go to sleep.
Well, they say, hey, I'm throwing up. We'll take some 7-Up and some
Club
Vicks.
soda. Drink some club soda.
7-Up and Vicks Vapor Rub and go take a nap.
My grandma was big with that.
Socks?
That club soda did work
No,
with
it did.
that stomach.
Eddie said, my cousin says, I don't think any kid should cut weight. You know what, though? And I'm going to say this. Sometimes making them move up to fight is just as hard on them because they're fighting somewhere where they shouldn't be. Just because you weigh 135 don't mean you should fight.
And at a young age, you could get hurt because guys are more mature, different.
Yep.
Especially
maybe
it's a tricky little age thing too.
Maybe 5 pounds forward or back.
Yep.
Maybe
14
that.
and a 12-year-old, 14 and even 13 and 12. Now you're talking about the maturity. Some kids mature quicker.
Then balls drop at 14. It fucking hurts.
You're throwing an immature kid up to fight a 13-year-old at a weight class higher. But the long-term effect where I'm going on with cutting weight at a young age, I'm saying like the effects that could happen down the line.
I agree. And I agree 100%.
So
12 years old against a guy with a mustache.
When I played Pee Wee football, this is the honest God truth. We used to make jokes about this. At 11 and 12 years old, I played for Little Redmond in Youngstown.
Yeah.
And we had weight classes too. It was like, when I played, it was 90 pounds was 7 and 8, 9 and 10 was 105, and 11 and 12 was 125.
Yeah.
And we used to play the teams, the inner city. It was called the Vonnie Rogers League. And we would scrimmer, they're like the Penguins, Sons of Thunder.
Man, weren't they?
These fucking guys were driving down to the field. They got out of cars, 5 deep. They drove. No, they made out of, but they had like little mustaches. They were like, their weight class was 140, and I still call bullshit on that because one guy looked like Bernard Hopkins. And they get out and they come down, walk. They had muscles and veins popping out of their arms. And they threw us around like rag dolls. But when we went to the championship every year from scrimmaging teams like that.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. It was like, it was a punishment. And we weren't learning football. We were learning how to get our asses whipped.
I agree. But hey, is there any question you have?
No, let's wrap it up.
Hey, great
guys.
show today, Kelly.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Good show, Justin. Thank you for everything Justin does. And thank you for everybody on the punchline. And hey, guys, thanks for watching. What do they got to do?
Subscribe, share, like, hit that bell.
Hit that bell. Ring that bell.
Let's subscribe on your YouTube too.
Subscribe on YouTube and go to the punchline page. We got some good boxing articles and videos and things like that. So we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yep.